A father makes a disturbing discovery. Police say thanks to social media, he found out a man wanted to have sex with his 12-year-old daughter. What we've learned about the investigation.
We're seeing the numbers skyrocket across the state. Heroin overdoses are on the rise, and Lexington police have a new way to combat it.
Many hospitals across this country are having trouble hiring emergency room doctors. Tonight, an inside look at that stressful job.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening. It is a disturbing case. Tonight, police in Laurel County have arrested a man they say tried to rape a 12-year-old girl.
The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says 22-year-old Joshua Wagers also told the girl he was a police officer. Phil Pendleton talked to investigators about the charges, and he has the 911 call the girl's parents made. It's our top story at 6.
A frantic mother called for help upon learning that a man was preying on her 12-year-old daughter.
I think I'm a 21-year-old boy here picking up my 12-year-old daughter. So he's already snuck her out of the house once.
Police say the man who tried to pick the girl up around midnight Sunday was Joshua Wagers. Police say the father discovered Wagers' intentions on Snapchat and waited for him to show up while his wife called police.
Is he still there?
Yeah, my husband got him held down out here on the porch.
Got him held down on the porch?
Police say that Wagers had met the girl through a mutual friend and at that time had implied that he was a police officer. Police say a search of Wagers' car found a badge, a police radio, and a gun, but that's not all.
We found a legend drug. We found a white powdery substance. We found a large quantity of alcoholic beverages.
Wagers is charged with attempted rape, impersonating a police officer, and various drug and alcohol charges.
Now, when our deputies got on scene, the male subject told our deputies that he thought she was 16 years old and that they were just going to go riding around.
12 or 16, police say regardless, the charges would still be the same. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Police say along with the drugs, alcohol, and police equipment, they also found a box of condoms with Wagers. New tonight, the Kentucky Judicial Conduct Commission has suspended Fayette County Family Court Judge Kathy Stein for 7 days without pay. It comes after the commission ruled Stein violated ethics rules in a custody case. The commission says last year an attorney for a father in that custody case asked Stein to grant the father immediate temporary custody of his child. The commission says Stein agreed without holding a hearing or giving the mother a chance to respond. Investigators say the father then took the child to Mississippi and stayed there until the State Court of Appeals ordered the child returned to Kentucky.
New tonight, Moorhead police say some arrests have been made in connection to a recent string of heroin overdoses in Rowan County. Police say they determined the heroin came from Cincinnati. So Moorhead police say they worked with Cincinnati police and the DEA to arrest the people responsible for distributing the heroin. And they say that more arrests are expected. Last week, police say that 10 people in Rowan County overdosed in a 24-hour period, and one of those people died. Tonight, Lexington police say their officers have a new tool in the battle against heroin. All Lexington patrol and traffic officers will now carry Narcan with them. The drug is used to reverse the effects of an overdose. Kristen Kennedy talked to Lexington police about how they're stepping up their efforts to fight heroin.
Officers in Lexington are now carrying these small black bags. Each contains 1 dose of the opiate antidote Narcan.
If there's that one circumstance or one moment that an officer can help save a life just for the cost of the Narcan, then we want to be prepared for that.
Police Chief Mark Barner doesn't expect his officers to use it often. He says EMS crews are usually the first to respond to overdoses, but with more calls coming in, his men and women may end up at overdose scenes first.
The opiate addiction is showing everyone, not just a certain segment of a community, but everyone is being affected by this, just as it was in the past. So I think it's important to look at it and say, how can we help everyone in our community? And this is not the answer, but it's a helpful solution.
Having 400 kits out on the streets is pricey. The department wrote the more than $20,000 item into their budget, and the city approved it.
There's a cost to saving lives. We understand that, but as our community is struggling with issues, we have to address them.
The chief says in addition to getting more Narcan out on the streets, they're assigning 2 of their narcotics investigators to follow all overdose cases. In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Also, the city of Georgetown recently gave all of its police officers Narcan. City leaders say the money used to buy the medicine came from a grant.
New tonight, the Fayette County Health Department says its needle exchange program had its biggest day ever last week. On Friday, the health department says it received nearly 1,300 used needles and gave out nearly 1,600 clean needles, and 6 people were referred to rehab services. The program is now a year old. It's designed to reduce the spread of diseases like HIV and hepatitis. The health department will exchange needles again this Friday afternoon between 1:30 and 4. Another Central Kentucky Police Department plans to give body cameras to each of its officers. The Cynthiana Police Department has bought 20 body cameras for officers. The police chief says the cameras will cost the city $51,000 over a 5-year period. He says most of that cost is paying to store video from the cameras.
We won't actually store it in-house. It'll be stored elsewhere. But the biggest thing for that is you don't have to worry about if an officer is out on a call and the camera's on. He can go back and review afterwards the video, but he can't alter it.
Cynthiana city leaders approved the money for the new body cameras last week, and the police department has already placed the order for them. The police chief hopes to have officers trained and the body cameras in use by the middle of next month.
We've had another day of sunshine across the bluegrass. It's warm now, but looks like tomorrow we'll get off to at least a cool start. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has an early look at the forecast. Chris?
Yeah, a lot of blue skies out there today. We started out, as you mentioned, with some upper 40s and low 50s. Tomorrow morning, not as cool, but the clear skies will allow for a quick drop in your thermometer as we go into the evening hours, especially as that sun sets. Right now, low 80s most areas. Look at the humidity, 24%. That is what fall is all about across the bluegrass state. Unfortunately, it's not going to stay that low. We're going to kind of steam it up a little bit in the coming days. If you're out this evening, a fantastic September evening in progress. We'll drop it quickly into the 60s, low and mid 60s by 11 o'clock under mainly clear skies. Warm high pressure dominating the weather across the eastern part of the country right now. Juice across the south going to try to get in here, and that cold front that is out into the plain states will try to get in here as well by the middle of the week. Now that will slowly bring an increase in a shower or thunderstorm threat on Wednesday. It is later this week that we'll talk about another cold front that is on the move as rain chances begin to increase just in time for the weekend. We'll show you that pattern when I come back in about 10 minutes.
Chris, thank you. Reports show that over the next decade, there will be a doctor shortage of close to 100,000. A new phrase is surfacing that may be contributing to the lack of doctors. It's called compassion fatigue. To demonstrate, a Lexington ER doctor documented his shifts for us. WKYT's Miranda Combs has a story new at 6.
For most of us, we can remember each time we've had to go to the emergency department. It's not a good day, but you do hope your doctor is having one.
Here's what we're walking into. It is a Labor Day weekend, Saturday night. So weekends, beautiful weather.
We asked Dr. Ryan Stanton to keep a video diary.
1 hour in, 6 patients down.
Of overnight shifts in the Baptist Health ER.
Been a pretty adventurous last hour or so. We've done some laceration repairs, some splinting of fractures, some evaluations of a stroke, as well as evaluations of chest pain, abdominal pain.
It's not until close to 3 a.m. when he finally sits down.
It's what's called the decompression time, where we're trying to decompress the emergency department.
There's humor.
Well, now he's going to get in the picture.
And an obvious respect for the workload.
I'm in the low 20s. That's where I feel the most comfortable in terms of the number of people seeing during one of these overnight shifts.
The next night, Sunday, wouldn't fall in his comfortable range. He didn't have time to update us until 2 a.m.
I'm incredibly busy. Lots of pathology tonight, a lot of variability. We've got a couple of themes. I mean, we've had a couple of strokes come in, code, things like that, the things that keep you really busy, but really what we train for.
We are doing this diary to experience what he isn't trained for, the emotional toll of constant exposure to trauma.
If you think about it like a rock hammer, just constantly picking at a mountain, you may not notice it at first, but eventually you're going to eat away the mountain.
He calls it compassion fatigue, associated with frontline responders that see bad things, sad things, over and over again.
If you live that 160 to 170 shifts per year, that's 2,000 hours of exposure to this type of thing every year.
Tonight, 28 patients in 9 hours.
It's one of those nights where basically wrapped up pretty exhausted, mentally exhausted at least, so I don't think he's going to be in trouble getting some sleep.
Stanton's last night in a row slowed down.
The gods of emergency medicine, sickness, and disease apparently are in our favor tonight. It's so impressive, it's worth documenting. It is completely empty.
It didn't last, and Stanton says that's part of the fun. But it's part of the reason the job in general has become a tough sell. 140 million patients come through an ER in the U.S. each year. Pair that with a predicted doctor shortage of 100,000 over the next 10 years.
Our volumes are going up, demands are going up, pressures from all areas in medicine are going up.
He says there's a shift, though.
It's finally turning on the light to recognize the fact that we've got a problem.
An emphasis lately on taking care of the person that takes care of us.
If we aren't healthy, if we aren't taking care of ourselves, if we aren't fully engaged, then we're not going to provide you the best care.
Physician organizations are teaching doctors how to deal with what they love.
The key is basically resetting yourself every time you walk into a room.
Because if they carry each pain, each situation with them, the compassion can't help but tire.
Still a very good night, a very good wrap up, and now we actually have a couple of days off before we come back to start it all over again over the next weekend.
In Lexington, Miranda Combs, WKYT.
I want to thank Dr. Stanton for doing what he did. He says that emergency room doctors also face some of the highest suicide and substance abuse rates in the country.
Work continued today to secure a badly damaged pedway on the Eastern Kentucky University campus in Richmond. Police say the boom of a truck hit the pedway over Lancaster Avenue Friday afternoon, causing part of the pedway to collapse. No one was injured. Lancaster Avenue between Barnes Mill Road and Crab Street is still closed tonight, and police think it could be 2 or 3 weeks before the road can reopen. Crews have put temporary fences around the pedway. EKU leaders said Friday it could take months to repair the pedway.
It appears more help is on the way for former ITT Tech students in Lexington. How state leaders are now reaching out to those students next.
And later in sports, what UK football coach Mark Stoops said today about that tough loss to Florida and quarterback Drew Barker's performance in the game. New tonight, the Kentucky Council on Post-Secondary Education is reaching out to help ITT Tech students in Lexington.
ITT Tech closed its Lexington campus last week, and this came after the U.S. Department of Education banned ITT from enrolling new students who use federal financial aid. The government had questioned the ability of the for-profit college to serve its students. The Council on Post-Secondary Education is now teaming up with Bluegrass Community and Technical College to host an information session for ITT students. So it'll be held Wednesday afternoon from 4:30 to 8 at the BCTC Leestown campus in Lexington. The sessions will help ITT students explore college options to continue the studies they started at ITT. And information about financial aid will also be available.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Very nice skies out there across Kentucky this afternoon. Humidity levels are about as low as you're ever going to find around here. You've got the nice conditions. Temperatures are up a little bit this afternoon, back into the summer-like levels, but again, without the humidity. It looks good on those 9 live sky cams across central and eastern Kentucky. Check them out. And each and every location that you see, blue skies over top of us, allowing temperatures 80 to 85 into most of central and eastern Kentucky this afternoon. That's some of the good stuff. Defender Radar Network, not a whole lot of action. We'll try to change it up a little bit tomorrow afternoon. Southeastern Kentucky is some of this stuff that you see into parts of the Carolinas and southeastern sections of the Volunteer State tries to lift back to the northwest. That'll combine forces by Wednesday with a cold front into the Plain States to at least give us a shot for a scattered thunderstorm or 2 area-wide as we go into the day on Wednesday. Tomorrow, similar to today, a lot of middle 80s, a little more humidity into the mix, and that chance for a southern shower or thunderstorm. Next 3 days, better chances for rain will be in here on Wednesday. Even then, don't expect anything terribly widespread. Just a storm or 2 around. That'll get on out of here for the most part on Thursday with a mainly dry sky. Temperatures are back up as well. Then we get a bigger push of moisture coming up for the weekend. Let's get you toward the weekend first. We got to get through 4 more days of the work week, huh? 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, a lot of mid and upper 50s. Noontime, pushing 75 to 80. Look at southeastern Kentucky. There you go with that isolated shower thunderstorm. Frankfort, Danville, Richmond, Mount Sterling, Moorhead, Lexington. Nothing going on tomorrow afternoon. Quiet again. Not a big-time drop tomorrow night in temperatures compared to what we've had over the past couple of nights because those southwesterly winds are going to really kick in. And look at Wednesday afternoon. The threat for a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms will be there as a cold front drops in from north to south. Now that's going to set the stage for yet another front to increase as we go toward the weekend. Especially Friday, Saturday, early Sunday. Look at that flow coming right off the Gulf of Mexico. Follow the streamlines coming in from the deep tropics, and the green showing that increase in moisture. Throw that combining with a cold front into the mix, and you get a good chance for some showers and thunderstorms. Same models are spitting out a half to 1 inch of rain over the next 7 days, with a few isolated areas getting a little more. Forecast tomorrow 84, storm or two around on Wednesday. I'd like to stand in front of that weekend, just pretend like it doesn't exist right now, but we got to show it anyway. Not all day stuff, but boy, it looks like we're going to see some showers and storms at some point Friday into Saturday and Sunday, with temperatures down into the upper 70s.
Kickoff, I know it's a little early to be talking about this, a few days away. Kickoff at 4 o'clock Saturday, so we could have some rain.
Decent chance for some rain on Saturday right now. Saturday looks like the best chance of the next week for rain.
Okay. Thanks, Chris.
You bet.
Well, Brian's up next. Former UK golf star J.B. Holmes getting some great news today.
J.B. is back on the Ryder Cup team for the first time in 8 years. But on the flip side, Saturday's game against Florida is one Drew Barker and the rest of the Cats cannot wait to forget. Sports is next. Saturday afternoon, the Cats were swamped and soundly stomped by a Florida team who struggled with UMass last weekend. UK losing 45-7, and at times it did not feel that close. For Drew Barker, it was his worst game as a Wildcat. Granted, Barker hasn't played that much in his college career, but it's likely the worst game of his entire football career. Just 2 of 10 passing for 10 yards with 3 interceptions and a QB rating of -31.
I was surprised that he didn't respond much better, and he did get hit on the first play, and you know, he can play better and will. But again, you know, he knows that, and need to play better around him, and you know, give him some protection, get open, and it's everybody. But he could take his part as well.
Sophomore outside linebacker Kobe Walker has been suspended. He did not make the trip to Florida and is not listed on the depth chart for the New Mexico State game. Stoops said today he's not ready to make a decision on when Walker would be reinstated. Walker had 10.5 tackles against Southern Miss last week. The Wildcats have a great opportunity to get back on track Saturday when they host the Aggies of New Mexico State. It's a 4 p.m. kickoff on the SEC alternate channel. UK a 19-point favorite right now. Game time announced for the South Carolina matchup next weekend. At Saturday, September 24th at 7:30 from Commonwealth Stadium. That game will be on to the SEC network. The Cincinnati Bengals began the 2016 season with a come from behind 23-22 win over the Jets, thanks in large part to A.J. Green. Andy Dalton found the 6th-year veteran receiver 12 times for 180 yards and a touchdown. Green abused Darrelle Revis time and time again. Dalton targeted Green 13 times, or 40% of the time on Sunday, and Green was humble about his success on Revis Island.
You know, the whole week everybody was saying AJ versus Darrelle, man. You know, Revis is a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's just my honor going against him, man. Like I said, I was just trying to make plays anytime the ball came my way. Herb and Zamp, which was just preaching me, you know, it starts from us. It starts from Andy and I, and that's what we got to do. We got to start fast like that. We got to put our team in the best situation to win, and that's what we did today.
AJ's so good. I wouldn't want to have anybody else, and so when he had his opportunities, he made the play, and that's what we expect from him. That's what he expects from himself, and that's why, you know, if he's not the best, he's one of the best receivers in the NFL.
On Sunday, Jamie Holmes finished 4th at the BMW Championship to secure a spot in the 30-player field for the Tour Championship in 2 weeks. Today, more good news for the former UK golfer. JB was named one of the 3 captain's picks for the U.S. Ryder Cup team that will compete in Hazleton, Minnesota at the end of the month. Holmes last played for the U.S. Ryder Cup team back in 2008. That is a look at sports. Sam and Amber, back to you.
Thank you, Brian. A final check of your first alert forecast is next.
Then on the CBS Evening News, concerns have been raised about the safety of lithium-ion batteries, which are found in most rechargeable devices. What's being done to keep you safe?
And for more local and national news, flip over to the CW Lexington for the new WKYT News at 6:30. Join Jennifer Palumbo and me for another look at the day's top local stories. Chris Bailey will be there as well, along with Dave Buzz Baker, which he always makes things exciting. So who knows what's going to happen.
So if you get up really quick, we know where you're going, right?
I have 10 seconds to get over there.
Just
so yes.
to be clear, speaking of today, it was beautiful out there, clear
really
as could be out there.
I have a whole minute to get over there, by the way. 85 tomorrow, so a little steamy. We do have the threat for a thunderstorm or two Wednesday. Right now, weekend, looking a little on the stormy side, especially late Friday into Saturday.
Brian and I are going to stay out of the way and just let you all go.
Off to 11. Here I come. We'll see you on the CW right now.
Thanks for watching.